Welcome back. We have made it back from North Kakalaka. It
The
feels
Triad
weird to be
area.
doing this actual show when we
From a
missed.
house.
I know. Tree's got a new background. I don't see a pseudo-woodle back there.
Well, it's not a pseudo-woodle. This is just a temporary base of operations. I still need to set up my office area. So
What you got in the backyard there? You got a saw-type chamber, like a human centipede?
No, this is like from the old owners. It was like, sort of like pseudo-greenhouse, but it's like they never took it with them, so that's what it is.
That looks weird.
Yeah, you can grow plants in it, or you can grow
the funny
but apparently
lettuce,
it doesn't work. It's supposed to prevent weeds. So
all right, so we went down to North Carolina and we had a grand old time. We played some baseball against some D1 college kids.
Yep, and I was more terrible than you, but we were both terrible. So.
I did foul off a baseball. I had a nice rip. I barreled one, but it just went foul.
It pulled left.
Yeah. But that's what happens in baseball sometimes. Some others did pretty well. I'd say Corey probably hit the best out of us.
Yeah, he had a couple home runs. Like he was D3, right?
He played in D3 ball, so I mean, and
so
Will,
he had some like former like pros there, like baseball bats. Like he was D1, D2, I think. Sim was D1. He was in minors for a bit.
Yeah, so we had like 4 decent players, and then I think we did pretty well the first 2 innings. Like we had a pretty good.
We ran out of gas. Like the first inning, it's like, holy shit, we have a runner on base. We have a runner on second. And then it's like, damn it.
Yeah. It was it was fun. We had a great old time, and to bring in a special guest here to come in and talk about it. And that's baseball. And Robbie Hyde's going to go ahead and join us. He was down there at the games.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
We had a great time down in North Carolina. Look at this. This is like the carryover from last week. Look, I hadn't played baseball in 27 years. And then I haven't played baseball now in 4 days, and I already miss it. Like I almost went to the batting cage today just for fun.
I'm still sore. Like
you're still sore.
My joints still hurt. I went to the gym yesterday and I left after like 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm going home. So
I was definitely able to go back to the gym. Maybe I just didn't play as hard as you, Robbie.
Well, you did way better than me. I'll tell you that. So,
what really killed me was I was making dinner today and I was cutting up some chicken. My hand just started hurting so bad. I was like, Jesus Christ.
The worst part was right before the game on Wednesday against the Sock Puppets. I started to cramp actually before I was like, uh-oh, I've got a problem. It was so hot. Like I tried my best to hydrate and stay, because I drank like a whole thing of Gatorade before.
With how hot it was impossible, man. It was so hot.
It was like
when it was nice for the Disco Turkeys game, I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Actually, it was decent. Like it wasn't like, and against Burlington, it's like Jesus Christ. I'm sitting on the bench and I'm sweating bullets.
That home run derby we shot with Will, it was so hot that day.
It was hot.
Yeah,
95.
Will almost had an aneurysm. I think that his
head was hurting.
Yeah. I'm actually scared now. Like Will, I hope he's all right. But yeah, it was hot. I grew up in Alabama, and that's some hot weather going down there.
Hopefully next year we can get some night games.
Well, I already talked to Anderson, the GM of the Puppets. I was like, dude, we got to do it at night, and we got to do it. We got to do special events. Now, I had an idea. We got to talk about it in the group chat. So I don't want to reveal it yet, what we're going to do next year. But next year, our goal is to get 1,000 fans. That's number one. So we have a year to start working on this.
Yeah, promote it for a whole year. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. And dude, Anderson is he's like so into it. He really wants us back. Eric's coming back. Will's probably coming back. We'll get as many back as we can, but I've got some targets for new people as well, which should be pretty dope.
Let's go get a former ML beer, can hit some tater tots for us, and that'll bring in a few.
Maybe we get Johnny Gomez, huh?
Let's do it.
You think we can get there?
Johnny Gomes, huh? I'd be all about it.
Steven Shoke followed me back on Twitter, and so now I can DM him and be like, dude, come on, man. You played at UVA. Why don't you come on down to Burlington and get smoked by some college kids?
All right, what we need is Barry Bonds, but disguised as, remember that MVP 03 when it was named John Dowd? Yeah. That's what we need.
Reggie Stalker.
Maybe Leon Sandcastle.
John Dowd is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Will never be forgotten.
Tucker White 94 super chat here says, congratulations, Canada. You still can't win a cup. As someone born in 94, I've never known a world where a Canadian team hoisted Lord Stanley. Yeah. Edmonton's gone. I don't know if you guys are hockey guys at all. Robbie, Jacob, no?
No, I'm not a hockey at all.
No?
No, not really.
Okay.
My Bruins got knocked out. That's all I know. So
being from Jersey, I'm allowed to hop on the Rangers bandwagon right now, but other than that, I don't know anything.
You can hop on that. Tucker White says, also it was great to head to Gateway to work a NASCAR race out in St. Louis. Now, if someone would pay me, all would be well. Yeah. I added up the expenses for the trip. Let's just say it was costly, but it was worth every penny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the Diamond in the chat, man. He had a great at bat against was it Burlington?
I think it was Carolina, right? If I remember correctly.
I think he was one of the few people that got on base. And
great at bat. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he drew a walk, man. The first game he drew a walk. The second game, he got punched down a 3-2 pitch, like at the shins.
Oh yeah,
so he would have had 2 walks.
Yeah, I struck out on that
in the chat. What's up, Ooch? Hey, Ooch, we got to talk after. We got to talk soon. I got something brewing that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. I see Kyle Tucker in the chat. He said Antonelli Baseball. Did you ever reach out to him by any chance? Because that was a name I forgot about.
I don't have any way to contact him. Like I would. Hell yeah. But like
that would have been great. He was in the major leagues.
I think I followed him on Twitter. Like getting to ask guys to go is difficult sometimes. Like some guys are real easy to access, and then other guys are more difficult. King of JUCO coming on was like, someone added him and was like, dude, you need to do this. And the next thing I know, he was like, I'm coming. I was like,
all about it.
Fuck. All right.
We'll get Trevor Bauer for next year.
Yeah, we could get Bauer.
Just put on a mustache, call him Brever Trower or something.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
I think Bauer he'll get that suspension truncated and he'll be back on the field next year for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nick Leroy says, thoughts on Bruins firing Cassidy? Well, that's the NHL model now. They just fire coaches for no reason.
I mean, he wasn't even the reason they were bad. It was, because Sutter, Sweeney and Neely can't draft, and they have trouble trying to get depth scoring, and they lost a hard-fought 7-game series. Like, are they blaming Cassidy for starting Linus Ullmark for 2 games? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They made the playoffs. Like I don't get the NHL when it comes to firing coaches.
It varies sometimes if they have a disappointing season, I guess.
They'll fire them in the playoffs. They don't give a fuck. Vulgar 9297. Who's worse, Artie Moreno or Dean Spano? So if a lot of you guys don't know, Joe Madden was let go today in a bomb. Angels have lost 12 straight. They were winning. They were in first, weren't they? And now they have dropped
in first. I think they were like 34 and 26 or something.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
They were a good 10 games over 500.
Yeah,
at one point, and then they just lost 12 straight.
Yeah, now they're under 500. They're only like a game over the Rangers.
Michael Wacha, complete game last night. I'm all about it.
Man, he's been really good. The Angels.
What's your theory, Jacob?
The Angels are just a reskin of the Phillies. They're like the West Coast Phillies. It's like they each have. It's like Trout and Harper like parallels. They each have a veteran manager named Joe who they fired, and they each don't have a bullpen. So it's like it's the same thing every year.
It's similar.
Very
though,
similar
I just
for the
don't
last
get
couple
it
years.
with the Angels because they have so much talent. They've got Shohei, they've got Rendon, they've got Trout. They got the best player in baseball, and they just can't
Rendon
win.
hasn't been as good as his contract has suggested. The main thing is they have the best hitter right now in Taylor Ward. Problem is, like, their pitching's always been a wreck, and that's the thing that's always undone them.
Yeah,
can't ignore pitching.
Yeah, I was just talking about this earlier. They have a lot of stuff going wrong right now. They got a lot of guys hurt. Bullpen's just been not great all year. Starting pitching was actually decent. They were a top 10 starting rotation for most of the year up until the big losing streak, but a bad bullpen's caught up to them. Guys are getting hurt. Ward, he's out right now with a hamstring. He was dealing with some shoulder stuff as well. Trout, Ohtani, they're cold. They's got stuff going wrong everywhere. And it's like a perfect storm. In the losing streak, they're like bottom 2 in every single category. So nothing is going right. They have no saving grace anywhere. It's just a bad situation for them right now. So, hey, good for my Red Sox, though.
Yeah. It's just shocking how they went from being like looking like contenders to being just shockingly bad. Illogical Canadian for 10. Howdy, Tree and 5. This is my invitation for both of you to appear on my podcast and film an episode for charity. You may choose the charity. Hope you accept. Yeah, we're good. Just tell us when you need us.
Absolutely.
Come to that. Yeah, just message us. We'll do anything. Red Rhino 49. Lol Texans. Okay. So Deshaun Watson. I know you guys are baseball guys, but you must live under a rock if you didn't see that Deshaun Watson got a 23rd and a 24th lawsuit now. Texans are allegedly culpable in this because they
just threw them NDAs.
Yeah. I saw they like printed them out. And
but here's the thing, like
Deshaun.
Articles like that can be a little misleading. Like I haven't read it yet, but I know that a lot of teams handle physical therapy and massages for the players. Like, why wouldn't you? I don't know about this NDA situation. It just looks bad and increasingly worse for Watson. Texans, I think, can get out of any responsibility, kind of like how Penn State, like how much did they know? Like, I don't think the Texans knew that Watson was as big of a scumbag as he is, but Watson just continues to look worse, and it may be that he never plays in the NFL again.
I mean, honestly, this is
then
like...
what happens if Cleveland he never plays again? Like, does the NFL void the trade?
That to me sounds unprecedented. I don't think there's ever been a situation where that's happened. But I don't think Cleveland gets a pass for being dumbasses. No one put a gun to their head and said, hey, you should trade for Deshaun Watson and give 3 first-rounders and not know what to do with Baker Mayfield. Like, come on. No one forced them to do one of the worst trades in the history of sports.
They clearly didn't do their homework. I remember, like, right after the trade happened, they're like, "Oh, we talked to the people," but then like all the victims came out after, and they're like, "Yeah, nobody came to talk to us from the team." So obviously, from the very beginning, it seemed like a really dumb move by them, and now it's like it keeps getting worse and worse. And so he still hasn't even played the game.
Right, Baker Mayfield may never play for them again. Their plan B is like, if I'm Baker, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like
they ain't coming about to dry last
Trade me to Carolina.
Like, they couldn't hire a fucking private investigator. Like, what to like the New York Times had this article out where they said there are 66 masseuses. Like, you're the guy that just guaranteed this fucker $230 million. You couldn't hire a guy for $2,000 to go look and follow up on these leads. Come on. That was them just hoping that this wouldn't backfire on them.
They probably thought it was just going to blow over. It was like, whatever.
I mean, at the time, I think it was quiet. Like, they thought that was the end of it, but clearly not.
When the initial report came out months ago, what was the number?
22 was the amount of accusers.
That's
that
okay.
time.
So that was the number from the very beginning. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm like,
And
geez,
then
this is like
since
so
then-
many. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah. Since then, 2 have added on. Tree Reed, Uche super chat right there. And then we'll
Yes,
bring
sir.
on SRS Mike.
Out of shape
What's up,
YouTubers
Mikey?
trying to be athletes. Lol, good stuff.
Yeah, Mike got
But
on
hey,
base.
Almost a shape. Come on.
How you guys doing?
The shirt is wonderful.
Triple B's, baby.
I had to.
Mike, you got hit by a pitch. Was that an off-speed pitch?
Yeah, 0-2 slider that broke in. I was just actually writing about that now for the script that we're working on about the
How many ribs are broken?
all of them.
Same.
Did you get a bruise on that? Like
I
you-
did. Tyler tweeted a picture. He's like, "Hey, can I get a picture of your back?" We were at the B&B, and he was having some exchange with the turkeys on Twitter, and he put my back on there.
That's funny.
We can't forget Mike. Mike stole a bag too after that.
I did. You want to know why I went? I watched the GoPro footage again. The first baseman was like, "Yeah, that's a pitcher catching."
Such a Tim LaCastro kind of a move.
Yes. Get hit and then steal. Man, I'm still having nightmares because I really caught that pitch that was up and in, and I had a chance at getting at least us a base hit. Like I would have been the only one that would have got on from an actual hit, and it didn't. It just went foul.
Man, you're telling me I hit that little blooper in the first game. I swear to God, I was falling in, and then the center
Oh,
fielder goes out
yeah.
of nowhere.
I know. Those guys are so good, man. Like,
Oh gosh, they were toying with us like so bad. Like they really did not go as hard as they could. Like if they wanted to, they would shut us down. 3 strike at bats.
Like there's so much. They were so much faster than you would think. Like you knew they would be fast, but like just the way they could get to the ball, like crazy, man, absolutely crazy.
Running around the bases too. Remember the kid in the who like paused before home plate, and he probably had 15 seconds before he had to actually touch the plate.
People running backwards, people just doing the moonwalk to the plate. Like,
Yeah, the coach.
they were showboating.
The coach in the second game was like, "All right, you're gonna steal backwards."
Then the coach came up to hit, and he did a backflip. And I was
And he
like,
did a backflip.
"Oh, what the hell's going
I
on?"
forgot about that until you tweeted out that clip, Adam, and I was ear to ear smiling, remembering that.
That was their
That's
head
great.
coach that did the backflip.
Yeah, guys like 35 years old. Just
So
man.
he told me that he had played JUCO 5 years ago at age 30.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, why? Were you in the military or something? He goes, nah, I'm just a fuck up. And then he didn't say that. I don't think he said that exactly, but he said, yeah, I just had a crazy, I took a weird path. And then, I mean, he could obviously play. And now he's the head coach of a, Summerwood League baseball team with D1 kids.
I mean, he put some wood on your 65-mile-an-hour heater that you probably gave him.
I think I popped him up.
You did. I didn't go to
Yes.
third base, I think.
Yeah, I actually pitched an inning too. Like, I don't know how that happened. I was just like, holy crap, we have literally no one. I'm going to have to throw. Luckily, I had been working on it, and I was able to get out with only giving up like 4 runs, maybe.
We burned all of our capable pitchers in like record time.
Yes. I mean, even Corey, this game too, was like, dude, I'm laboring. Like,
I remember he was in the dugout. He was like, yeah, I got maybe 40% in me.
yeah,
he
he was
up there
throwing
throwing
BP.
eephuses.
Yeah. But we all had a great time. Rangav248 says, I know we all want to rip apart Mike Smith, but how much is this in lack of defense and pitiful defense? The Oilers are bad, dude. The Oilers they did not play a good game. It's just Mike Smith is, oh god damn it, the Bolts just scored. James Amadei says, I'm in a sports coma right now. We know New York is good in baseball, and we know Chicago is bad in baseball. Can we please start football already? Yeah, it's going to be a tough off season for football, especially when the biggest story right now is Deshaun Watson and his multiple accusers. Dodger, who was there at the games 1 and 2, says last weekend was a blast. Tree was a foul machine. Yeah, you cussed a lot, Tree.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of swearing. As I said, did
either of you Mike? Did you cramp up on the Wednesday game at all?
No, but I don't know if you saw me during the home run derby thing we did. My arm just gave like after my last swing, and I remember that the whole time.
Gosh, you all making me feel pretty good. Like I was never like I was definitely sore, but like none of my parts gave out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, my right hip and lower back were just shot. Like I could barely run.
The lower back bothered me on Friday for sure, but when I woke up, but then I was fine.
Yeah. I had a little bit of like the left hip in me.
What was that, Mike?
I kept saying there was zero shame in being like, yeah, I don't feel so good. Like that whole trip.
Yeah. RBT didn't even come to the home run derby. He was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Sad man neither, but like he didn't look so hot on Wednesday for obvious reasons.
Hollow says best part of the games was watching Grossi and Brandon Perna attempt to call the first game. Yeah, apparently the commentary was
really
very
needed
funny.
me for like, hey, what is going on out there? Because you couldn't even read the scoreboard. So my job was just like the closest thing to a field correspondent, but I'm in the press box.
That was actually super clutch because if they wouldn't have been able to tell who was up or not, and the fact that we had people there to help and help turn them in the right direction. The super cut that you put together of all of us striking out was very nice.
Oh, hold on a second. No, me was how did I strike out? I'm just gonna make that clear.
How did you strike out? Did you go down swinging?
Did you see that curveball that almost hit me in the head? And a strike. And I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Good 6 inches inside.
I'm like, man, I was actually pretty proud of that at bat up until that point. You know, I worked a couple of balls in there, and then man, he kind of screwed me over on that one, man.
Sim getting called out as well on an outside fastball. That actually probably was a strike, but
yeah, we need to get some umpires next year, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the other suggestion is next year we get some umps, maybe, some volunteers. And dude, we gotta come way harder next year. We gotta be competitive for at least 2 innings. 2 innings.
We need Bauer for game 1.
Yeah,
we need to go get Pedro for game 2. Let's get Pedro out of retirement. That'd be good.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe, maybe we just do one game and just do all the marbles and just have like
put everything you got into
go
one.
All out.
Yeah, have like get down there and have a day before where we practice together. We go be on that field behind there. We all get some practice in, take some BP, get ready the night before, and then the next day we treat it like a real game. We get to the field. We have some live BP. We do IO, infield, outfield. And then that night we just for at least 2 innings, put our best lineup out there and see if we can play them tough.
It'd be really funny if we invited like 30 guys out there and we do like cuts that you cut from the team.
You waste all your money to come there and then you still get
great content.
The cuts are based on how many views you've gotten in the last month.
No.
What if we did it, Mr.
Beast?
None of that,
YouTube prowess.
Yeah, what if we did a Mr. Beast? Like, you get cut, but you get like a prize.
Oh man, let's have him come out and we can do the one game, and then maybe like the next day or two we can have Mr. Beast put together some events for us.
I did at him, but I don't think again, it's very hard to get to these larger YouTubers. Like, I mean, he gets probably 90 million ats.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's from North Carolina and he played baseball, so it's like there's an outside chance, but like it's just getting the information to him. I feel like is almost impossible.
There's just no way. I mean, you'd have to run into him, or he'd have to just put together good blogs and make this really popular, and maybe he'll see it. Maybe you just add him as much as you can. Maybe we'll pay someone to add him every day until he sees it.
I would love
Aero Flambe says 5 Points Vids and U-Tree graded rookie baseball cards with Prism signatures when?
No, negative value.
I would say the part that blew me away the most was signing autographs after the game. I was like, why do you want my autograph? Like,
I mean, hey, if they want it, that's fine by me.
right.
It's
Are
just
you going to
like,
use this against me in court? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know why you want my. I thought the fans were great. I was shocked at how many knew who we were. But so many came up. You know, Eric obviously being the star of the show, being one of the most known YouTubers in the baseball community was great. But at the same time, the fact that anybody like came up to me and was like, "Hey, Five, I'm a big fan," I was like, "Okay, really."
I appreciate
That whole,
that. I
like,
can respect that.
That whole like 2-hour stretch we spent after the game, like at that bar, was like some of the most fun of the whole trip.
Yeah, I was busy having a heat stroke. Like
that beer after the game was wonderful.
It was
refreshing. Yeah.
It was one of the best beers I ever had because it was so hot.
That was such a great like getting to know you guys time too. Like for most of you, I hadn't met.
Yeah,
So,
talking with Eric
that
after it was great.
Yeah, like Eric, RBT, Mark, Chiseled Adonis showed up, which was awesome.
Yeah.
We
Charles
spent
Marte?
a solid half hour getting to know him.
Yeah, it's crazy because Chisel, like I looked up in the stands, like I came down from the booth, like ready to start playing because the camera, we had that whole camera issue. And I look in the stands and there's Chiseled Adonis like sitting there. I was like, what? Wait, that looks like Chiseled Adonis. Like okay. And then
me and Mike, we were trying to figure out who he was. And I'm like, I think that's Starling Marte, man. Looked just like him. That was really nice. I'd never seen his channel before. And I started watching some of his content. I was like, oh, wow. It's crazy how many big channels are out there. You just don't know. So it's cool when these other YouTubers can come out and you can meet them. It's like I had no idea about his channel at all. So
I said the way to describe his channel is like, hey, do you ever watch fucked up clips on YouTube? And no, then you don't subscribe to Chiseled Adonis. That's the way. Like, so if the answer is no, then you don't. No, then he has some wild shit on his channel. What just happened in this Rangers game? Was there another penalty? Penalty.
I don't know.
All right. Frost 757 Tree. I made a relating to your Black Money sports ball bits. Hope you can check it out sometime. All right, go check that out. Captain Zero rating for 5 points and Tree bobbleheads. I know I'm going to be waiting for a very long time. I think there's like some website in China where you can get bobbleheads made like pretty cheaply, and or at least a sculpture of you where they sculpt you based off of a picture. Maybe we'll have those made.
Like
honestly, all I need is like a bobblehead of just my feet, and it'll just like represent my jumping motion.
Hey, mods. There you go. I see y'all putting in work. I see you.
I wanted to say for commentary next year, I said it a couple times on the trip, but I'm cool with keeping the two guys. We got to add Foolish Baseball into it. I actually think that would be hilarious. Like you got these two guys that know nothing about baseball, one guy that knows too much about baseball. would be quite the dynamic, I think.
Foolish needs to drag his ass to North Carolina. That's what needs to happen. He was supposed to be
a wedding
there.
in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, that
he was in Mexico. He did provide photo evidence. Yes.
He put out a video on his second channel today, the 4-second clip of him on the beach.
Yeah. Was he shirtless?
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
I'm saying if he was shirtless, that would have helped, the solar energy equation. Like all the energy levels would have spiked because that boy white. No, I think it's just going to be hilarious if we get him out there because unless I am mistaken, I would think he is average at baseball. I'm just guessing.
We need his analytical prowess.
We do, though. I think he could help us get to at least 2 innings of competitive baseball.
Worst comes to worst, we can always make up stats and say we're winning.
Yes.
That's the key.
he can just look at it. He can help us look at it in a positive way. He's like, look, you guys are losing 14-0, but your on base percentage is almost there.
Yeah, I was already doing that. I was like, I didn't strike out once. Like I hit into some bad luck. I had some bad BABIP luck. Like I probably should have hit like 500, but got unlucky. So
I did put a ball in play. I popped out. So
My beer per at bat was pretty high. So you know what? I'll take that.
and my barrel. I mean, I did catch a barrel in the second game too.
You had decent exit velo. You had a decent launch angle.
That was one of the best. Like Corey, obviously, we talked about this. Corey had probably the best hit out of all of us, even Eric included. Like he had a deep fly, almost got to the warning track. So, anyways, that one guy says the Browns are going to lose to the Steelers because they have no quarterbacks.
They have Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Well, I think Baker. I don't know what happens with Baker. Does he end up playing for them?
I don't know. I feel like they've crossed him so much. He's like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I don't know.
He's got to demand a trade, right? Like,
he has. The problem is the Browns won't trade him unless they eat like a ton of his salary.
What a dirty move that the Browns did. They traded for Deshaun Watson, who clearly they're saying we don't want you, Baker, but they won't get rid of him, knowing that Watson's probably going to be suspended next year. And they're just like, hey, we're going to force you to play for us. I think that he just sits next year. Baker
he was playing
I
all
can see
year.
him. I can see him doing that.
Yep.
And he's not exactly wrong for it.
Just the typical Cleveland Browns, like just a dumb move, a stupid move, and they guaranteed Watson's contract. Like, who does that?
All of it.
Incheon DM, as a Wild fan, I found consolation in our loss. We got Fleury off the Blackhawks and didn't get a first rounder. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And Noble Demon Team says, when does the 2023 MLB season schedule gonna get announced? I legit enjoy NL West versus AL East interleague. Also, is ATL NYM's nastiest division rival? Well, right now, I mean, the Mets really don't. I mean, Phillies are kind of ass. Braves are struggling. Marlins are the Marlins, and Atlanta. I mean, it's good times if you're a Met fan right now. The Mets are playing good baseball. They're out west. They get the Padres. So
Atlanta is hot.
Yeah,
Atlanta's hot. 5 straight, 7-3 in their last 10. They're starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
Let's look at these standings right here. MLB standing. Now we can talk about a little baseball. Now that we've gotten through these super chats. Apparently Aaron Judge went deep.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and Stanton in the same inning.
Stanton.
I'm watching the game right now,
Yeah.
waiting for my Sox to come on.
Yeah, the Braves have gotten hot to be 9 games back. You know, like the Mets are playing pretty good baseball right now. They need to stay on it, of course. I bet you the world is sick right now that both New York teams are playing decent. That's got to bother a lot of people.
Rangers
So
too.
if it's a Subway Series, can we just sink New York to the Hudson?
Man, I was
That'd
there
be
for
so
that
cool.
in 2000, the Subway Series. That was a rough series.
I wanted to ask Mike. We were talking about Madden earlier. What are your thoughts, Mike, on the Joe Madden move?
I see why they did it. 12-game losing streak. Only time will tell if it's like jumping the gun too quick. But you got to do something if you're losing 12 in a row, and a team that is now like completely out of the picture when they were in first place and looking like a sure playoff team like 2 weeks ago. It just depends on whether or not that's like if it's Joe Madden's fault per se. Like it's kind of hard to assign blame for that. But I'd say I get it. I
get it too, but it's like, no offense to Phil Nevin, but Phil Nevin's no manager, man. Like as far as from what I've seen from him, he was the Yankees. I think he was Yankees third base coach last year. He just didn't feel like he's like an old school guy. He doesn't feel like he fits into today's game as a manager. He could be like a clubhouse guy maybe, but like I don't know. I don't know if I believe in all that. It seems like a scapegoat move to me.
I think maybe that's what the Angels kind of need right now, you know, because Joe Madden, he tends to go out of the box a lot. He makes some moves that can be questionable sometimes. Maybe they just want something simple right now, just try and, I don't know. So, but Madden said he was surprised today that he got the axe.
The thing with Madden is like he's not gonna out manage anyone, right? And so if the team's playing like shit, he's not exactly putting them in the best position to win. And I mean, he's the kind of guy that he can manage a stacked team, he can manage those egos, and he can get them all to play together, but he's not a strategist by any means. Like his moves are almost always questionable and stupid, and that bullpen is trash, so it doesn't matter. I think that's one thing that managers get a lot of shit for, that they can't do anything about. If you go to your closer and the book says, hey, put your closer in for a 5-out save or a 6-out save, and he gives up a barrel, like, whose fault is that? You went by the book. You brought him in when you thought he was supposed to do his job, and he just didn't do his job.
The whole walking Seager thing when he was already losing in like the 4th inning didn't make
I'm
a believer in that, but that situation didn't make any sense.
They won that game. They started going on a tear after that, so maybe he didn't walk enough guys with the bases loaded.
Every time that's ever happened, the team has actually won. The team that did it.
Yeah.
He should have had Rendon bat left-handed.
Yeah, Lefty Rendon is their best player.
Right now. Lefty Rendon should be
better than righty.
Let's see. They're still 8.5 games back. Yeah, the Astros are probably going to run away with this division now.
Well, you're still in striking distance for a wild card spot, so
yes, they are. Yeah, the other teams, the Blue Jays. How's it work this year? Is it wild card 1, wild card 2?
Yeah, 3.
There's 3 wild cards.
3 wild cards?
Yeah.
Angels are still technically in a wild card spot.
Oh, easily then, if that's the case, because all these other teams suck. Like the Blue Jays.
Boston's up there, Angels, Rangers, Guardians.
Angels are a game and a half out of the wild card right now.
Holy shit.
Boston just
Mariners are getting hot too. Look out for the Mariners.
There's so many teams in like 3 games of each other.
Is Kelnick even on the roster right now? Is he in the bigs?
I don't think so.
No idea.
Because
I think this season is just because they had the late start, you had the wacky spring training. I think that you got a lot of teams with these losing records. I think the second half of the season this year is going to be exciting. I think you're going to have a lot of teams start getting hot. So I'm really waiting for that second half of the season.
The bats warm up too.
Yeah. In the minors.
Yeah, Tyrus says he's in the minors. The Mariners have not busted out their dick punching yet.
Julio Rodriguez, man,
he's so good.
He's on pace for like easily. I mean, he's going to get 20 stolen bases. He's 3 away, but I think he can get to 20 home runs for sure.
Yeah, he looks sort of like a light version.
Hopefully, he can get it back.
Yeah, Rodriguez having like a light version of Trout's rookie year, where Trout had like 30 homers, 50 steals. Like Rodriguez can have like 20 homers, 50 or 60 steals. It's gonna be ridiculous numbers by the end.
Yeah, that brawl yesterday, and this guy just comes up and hits a tank. So I love him, man.
The Simpsons since '90. I recently watched Once Upon a Time in Queens, a solid doc series about the '86 Mets. Where were you 5 on October 25th? 1986. I was 10 years old. I was in the 5th grade, I think, 5th or 4th grade. Unfortunately, my dad, because I was so young, did not let me stay up late to watch that game. But I woke up the next morning and my dad told me, he's like, hey, they won it. The Mets won the World Series, and I jumped up and down, and I was
that's cool.
Very, very happy. And the Mets had that year, there were so many times when it was over for them. I think in the NLCS, they came back several times in those games. And then watching the documentary of the 80s of Once Upon a Time, that filled in all the gaps that I didn't see, all the things that I wasn't able to stay up for. And then after that, I told my dad, I was like, look, the Mets may not ever win another World Series. Don't ever make me go to bed. And he was like, okay. And then the next year that they were good in '88, I would stay up on weeknights and watch them play, like the Dodgers and shit. And then they fucking lost to Oral Hershiser, and the fucking Mike Scioscia hit a freaking home run in the 9th inning when they left Doc Gooden in the game too long, and that began the heartbreaking spiral of my Met fandom.
Should
I'm
never trade
glad I
Kevin
was not
Mitchell.
alive.
I wish you were there when we watched the Ranger game the night after you left, Adam. That was a very good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Tree spilled beer on me that night.
Where'd you guys go? Like,
It wasn't beer. It was like Diet Coke, and it was like ice because I had to drive. It was at the barcade. I remember that.
you guys went to the barcade.
Yeah, boxcar, man. Love that place.
Mark 7-0'd me in air hockey.
Oh, there were other games that we were unaware of that happened.
Yeah, it was like a childlike heaven. Like they had Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Skee Ball, Pinball.
It was a good group there too. We had a pretty good everyone was like meshing really well and competing against each other. Like I worked RBT and he was like, man, Mike really like toasted me, and then I played Mark and he 7-0'd me. It was such a deflating feeling that night.
I absolutely dominated baseball quotes in air hockey.
Didn't you hit him
I
in the
put on a
nose?
defensive show.
I think I had an epic battle with Wardy. I think I lost and sudden death.
Robbie,
Close.
weren't you the one who hit Corey in the nuts and then I fell over
Yes.
laughing, and that's when
He
spilled the beer or the Coke?
He could not handle the heat, my friend. He just could not handle the heat. How about give a round of applause for Wardy going live at like 1 in the morning for his post game on the Mets, and while we're in the middle of a trip. What a guy!
The dedication is strong right there.
Oh, I bunked with him. Like seeing him get that whole setup was great. Like I crashed his stream the first night he did it on the trip.
So did he have like a pop-up setup to go live?
No, he brought like his standard, like his laptop and like a mic stand and such, and he found like a corner in the living room of the B&B that did the trick. It was in like just the middle, like the kitchen living room table kind of thing. Remember the first night, like I stole his water thinking it was mine, and on stream he was like, dude, give me my water back.
So we both, Tree and I did clickbait while we were on the road from our hotel rooms. The internet wasn't bad. Luckily I had my whole setup. So next year, the biggest thing is we got to get a videographer. Like it was so hard to try to vlog and get footage and try to, set up the camera and do all that stuff. I loved how Will just set up a tripod on the mound, basically.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck it.
Had all his action cams.
Yeah. It's either I bring a million cameras or I pay someone like Eric had, where he.
You know what we could do is we could also like even on the streams have like multicam.
Yeah. What we need to do is like have multiple camera angles for the stream as well, but that's really hard. I don't know.
Tough. You need an actual producer for that. You need a control board outside. You need multiple people working it. Like there's a lot that goes into that. So you'd have to have an entire team.
Yeah. I don't know if we can afford that. Like people were giving us shit in the chat for my stream, and I was like, dude, we're not a production team, all right?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen most minor league broadcasts? Like it's roughly the same thing. They have one camera.
Oh yeah, they're unbearable.
They go at it.
Yeah.
Hey, if MLB enjoyed our event, then maybe they'll pitch in next year.
Send out a little team for us, huh?
That'd be sick.
I mean, we have a year to prepare. Like, I think we should be ready to go next year. I think we know what to expect and what we are getting into. Like this year was like proof of concept. Next year is just going to be, all right, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to set our lineup. This is what we can expect from the first 2 or 3 innings. This is what we need in terms of roster construction. Like, dude, the first inning, we were in it. And the one thing that was a big advantage for us is like, I didn't realize like the kids, they're great, but they're just learning how to hit wood bats. Like, and they're coming off of college, right where they're hitting metal right to wood. So we kind of had an advantage in terms of fielding. Like the balls that were hit in the infield weren't all that. Because when I rolled up, I was thinking, man, they're gonna hit screamers at us. I was thinking we're gonna play. It was like Class A level, and the kids are good. Don't get me wrong, but like it's not that scary. It's not that frightening. It's kind of a great matchup for YouTubers that have high school and above experience. Like we were competitive that first inning. And
how many guys did we had that played past high school?
Only Eric, Will, and Corey did. I
I mean, I would have too if I didn't tear up my arm, but
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I played
gone
in
pro.
Legion and All-Star, Babe Ruth All-Star, but I'm not on any level of as a college athlete, not at any point in my life. Even in my peak, I would never have been a sniff as how good those guys were, you know.
I was an all conference honorable mention my senior year of high school, so that has to count for something.
Well, that's why when I saw you pick a
Better than a
couple
lot
in
of us.
the infield, I was like, all right, Jacob's got to go into center field. Like, I was like, at least we'll put him. I was surprised at your competency. I was like, all right, we got one at least that can fill in, because I was really scared putting together the lineup. I was like, I don't know who's going to play center. Like, I'm not going to go out and play center because I haven't run like full speed in several years. So that you were. And also Connor playing catcher, that was a big get, because that allowed, because Will originally was supposed to play catcher, but that allowed us to put him out in the field, which, I mean, Will did make 2 errors, but I'll forgive him. I'll forgive him. He did.
Yeah, he's carrying that camera around.
Yeah.
We
No
now
real
know
will
to not put Wardy in center field, because Wardy will just watch you go get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out in left and I'm running into center field to go get the ball. I'm like, Wardy, what are you doing?
Cole had some issues.
Oh God, Cole.
Yeah.
And no ill will to
the
even
problem is,
start
like,
me.
gauging a fly ball is probably really tough out there, so I'm not going to be really hard on those guys. I'd probably be doing the same shit. So
Yeah, that's what's funny was I put myself in left because I played outfield in high school. Like, I know how to play outfield, and not a single ball got hit to me.
Yeah, the
So
one inning I played in center, nothing got hit to me. Then the next inning, Cole's out there, and there's like 2 nukes over his head.
yeah. I mean, those
Wow.
I would not have been able to do anything with them anyways, but at least I would have been able to field them and get them back. Like,
dude, Jacqueline, we'd probably lose against the high schoolers.
Yeah, we would.
yeah, I just don't know why people would watch us play high. So what Momentum did, what Bauer and Sim did, they did 4 players against a high school team, and I think they beat them. I think they still beat them.
I just watched that video the other day.
Yeah, because Bauer pitched, right? Like, imagine you're a high school kid and you have to face Trevor Bauer. Like, I think
Trevor Bauer could beat them.
How would you assess our team talent level in hindsight? Like, better, worse than you expected, like that sort of thing.
Exactly what I expected.
Yeah,
I knew exactly what we had. Corey was way better than I thought he would be, especially hitting wise. Eric, I was surprised that he didn't at least, put one in play, but
he was taking daddy hacks.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't there to hit singles. He was there to hit a moon. Draftnik Mark, I already knew was good, right? He played great defense. We got a Fitty bomb, boys. Why don't you read that one?
Yes, sir. Am I dreaming that Zion is signing the extension to the Pelicans, or is it BS? I'm not seeing it right now.
I mean, what? This dude has played half a season. I mean, I'm just shocked that the Pelicans are so bought into Zion when he really hasn't been healthy. But
well, he's been cleared, so he's been cleared to play.
I guess the difference between him and Ben Simmons is, like, Zion actually wants to play basketball, and he's just hampered by his injuries. But Simmons I don't think wants to play basketball. He doesn't.
Man,
he's interested.
I hate being a Nets fan right now.
Yeah,
like, we had the most fun team. Everyone loved us in 2019. Now we just bring in like the most hated players year after year.
Yeah, Kyrie
swept out of the playoffs.
Y'all are like the Snake Factory. You just bring in whoever, Kevin Durant, like it's like the old days here. James Amadei, are you guys excited for the MLB draft 2022? Yes. Drew Jones and Kevin Parada, remember the names. Oh, Drew Jones has got major hype around him.
Andrew Jones's kid, man.
Yeah.
Who's really good is Termar Johnson. That kid can play.
Termar Johnson, man. That guy, I think, could end up being one of the better hitters out of this draft. He's really good.
Elijah Green can play too.
I think that's who you guys were talking about when we were down there, was Termar Johnson. Like, that's the player to watch.
I think he could end up being the best hitter in this one. Maybe not all around, but definitely a really good hitter. I like his bat a lot.
Great bat to ball skills.
Just
breaking
news.
We made a lot more contact than I was expecting this week.
I have some breaking news.
I was expecting the punch out video to be longer.
We got some breaking news.
Yeah, Joey Gallo just beat the shift. Just wanted to let you
baby,
know.
let's
Oh.
go.
Just beat the
Gallo
shift.
beat
You fixed them.
He hit it
He
over
hit
the
into
second
it?
baseman or one of the second baseman's heads. So
Nice.
One of the
Beat it.
second
hated
baseman.
player of New York right now.
We did that shit too. We ran a shift and then they hit it like to where we weren't.
Yeah, you're
Like,
telling me I played right field and you see me trying to angle over on a opposite field fly ball and I just couldn't do it. Defense is hard.
that's how you could tell how good these guys were, because no balls came out to none of the righties pulled to left. None of them. I was out and left and there was not one ball hit that way at all. They were all going oppo. So the lefties were pulling, but
that's where I'm saying we have an advantage because they're not used to the wood bat. So they're already going to be a little late and they're not unleashing a full BB core on us. Like, I think that would have been scary if we played with metal bat. Like, I would have been concerned for, like, I think we should have signed waivers if they were going to play with metal bats. Like, if we played like a D1 college team like Tennessee or some shit, like, we would have died. But I think that's why it's perfect to play the sock puppets or play these Appalachian League teams, because they're just learning how to hit, and that gives us an advantage too. If we go back and practice now, we have a whole year, like, we're hitting with wood bats the whole time.
Oh, we're coming to win next year.
Yeah. If we get a base hit or score a run next year, that's a W. I'm framing the box score. If we
You get the lineup card.
What's that?
You get the lineup card that you put together.
Yes,
Put it in the
I will
back there.
frame that. My thing was, dude, is like the kid that I faced, Trey Cooper, like, I got the worst possible matchup for me, which is a lefty that was throwing hard and throwing junk from the sidearm. Like, I was just like, this, I should have dropped lower into the lineup. That
You
would have been
put me
smart
against
thing.
lefty next time. I'm a
What's
lefty
that?
killer. I'm a lefty killer. Put me against
Oh,
lefties
okay.
next time.
All right. Next time we'll adjust the lineup on the fly. If I see a lefty, you'll go in as me, and then I only want to face.
I'll put the
righties.
bald cap on. Like,
Yeah. Like, you'll do the Paul Bissonnette. Oh, y'all don't follow hockey. If you've seen how Paul here, let me find that while we do this real quick. Hold on.
Hey, you could get away with it. They almost announced Matt as me, we don't look anything alike, and he's probably got 50 feet on me.
Oh, how's Matt doing?
Good. Last I heard, I should check in with him.
Oh yeah. I checked in. He said he was doing all right, and I mean, he got a little torn up. So
he and I are supposed to meet on a call tomorrow to come up with our video plan. So I'll definitely check up on him.
Oh, it's a web EP. Sorry, hold on. Let me get this picture here of Paul Bissonnette.
You gotta get the PNG download plugin.
Oh, what is that? It converts WebEP to PNG immediately? I need to get that.
It's pissing me off. Every time I made a video, I was like, it was downloading as the web, and I was like, nah, I can't do this.
It does. That happens to me all the time in editing, like at least once a video.
So Final Cut now will let you will import WebEPs. That's the third one that's a web. Why? Who invented that shit?
Do you have a snipping tool? Just snip the image you want.
How do you snip it?
It's usually a program on every computer. You just search snipping tool, and it's like a screenshot maker thing that's like built in that is a lifesaver. Hold
on, I'll just do that shit. And
Mike, this is like teaching my grandpa how to use the computer. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I can't.
There's a lot we could say right now that we're biting.
I'm not gonna worry about this. Oh well, fucking WebEP designed by Google to make everything terrible for us.
That's how it always goes. And then you can't import it into your software, and it's like, nope.
Yeah,
doesn't recognize it.
Noble Demon Team, Best Interleague Crosstown World Series 1906 All Chicago, 1989 Bay Area Series or World Series 2000. How badly you hated World Series 2000 tree. So the 1989, the Battle of the Bay, started off with an earthquake. Like, you guys might not remember that. It was like Jose Canseco
broadcast on YouTube.
Yeah, it was like a long-awaited matchup, and then they were getting ready. They're taking pregame, and then a huge earthquake hit, and they're like, we got to go home.
Oh wow.
That's
And
part of
then-
my Kevin Mitchell, my second Kevin Mitchell video. That's a big plot point because it's like one of the craziest things ever. The fact that it hits during the Bay Area World Series and Bay
That's
Area.
right. It
earthquake
was
is
game
insane.
3. The A's had already won the first 2 games, and then they played like 2 months later, and it was a sweep.
Yeah, they got to use Dave Stewart in game 1 and game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. But the World Series was very anticlimactic, and it kind of took away from the A's dynasty because the year before they lost to the Dodgers.
Hey, hello. Yeah. Kirk Gibson.
Yeah.
That-
And
I think
then
if I remember.
and then the World Series, the A's won it. And then I think the next year, 90, the Reds won it.
The
Reds
swept them.
Yeah.
March
And then
shot.
I don't think they ever
scumbag.
came back because then it was the Blue Jays.
Golf
Mike.
20 minutes behind, but for next year's game. Sauna 3 times a week, 10 to 20 minutes for 3 months for heat acclimation. Heat won't be so bad.
You guys want us to sauna before this? We don't know what.
I think.
No, we're going to request a night game. That's what's going to happen. We're not going to play at 5 o'clock in the North Carolina sun.
Hey, I'm a Florida boy. I can take care of it.
The other thing was we were practicing, we were taking hacks, and we didn't prepare. We didn't sit down. We went straight from practice, right to the game. We were pretty gassed by the time the game started.
Well, we ain't professionals, Five. We're just have
No.
to sit there and we're not getting refreshments and 5-star treatment in the locker room. We're lucky to even have a locker room, to be completely honest with you.
Even Eric was like, dude, I play baseball every day. I've never been this sore. He was like, holy crap. Everybody was like, Anderson, the GM for the Puppets, was like, dude, I'm tired. And I didn't even play. And Penn's Abs and Pat's Fandom 98. How about those Avalanche? Yeah, they came back. They were down 3-1 and they got her done.
You can't even blame Edmonton for that. It's just run over.
Yeah. And the Simpsons since 90, as a self-pitying Sharks fan, I take comfort knowing the Knights missed the playoffs. Evander Kane wins nothing. And the Nords/Avs, a side team I've adopted since 93, made the finals. All right. First period is over, and it looks like we've already done our hour of time here.
Speak like it's
fire.
for community service.
Yeah. Dude, I had so much fun. Like I said before we even went out, I was like, we're going to talk about this for the rest of our lives. I think even next year we'll be like, oh, well, in game 1, y'all, for anybody that's there next year that wasn't at game 1, it's like, all right, I'll respect you because you're here, but you weren't part of the OG crew.
Game 1 was different.
Yeah. Game 1 just hit different. Now we're professionals. We know what to expect. Really underrated experience playing the Turkeys. It's just it didn't have the hype and the fan.
I had more fun in that than against Burlington, but probably because of a lack of heat.
Not only that, Burlington was running all over us. They kept scoring. They had no respect for the game.
Yeah.
I think they served 2 different purposes. The Puppets game was a lot more of the grand fanfare, like the whole competitive experience, and the Turkeys was like, oh, you want content? We'll give you content. We'll play without gloves for an inning.
Right. Yeah. You want to get shit on by some fucking D1 level players? We will shit on you, but in a respectful way.
I remember I listed out all the things that happened in the last inning of the game, and I was like, I don't think we didn't notice that you were trying to distract them in the infield with your camera, and they still beat us.
Right.
Did you see when I gave up that nuke to that kid? I chased him around the bases.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that kid.
I feel like I should get a laser pointer and just point it at their shirt, not their eyes, but their shirt.
And so I asked him. I was like, "Why you do that to me?" He goes, "Man, I really needed that. I guess he was in a slump, and he needed a 65-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle."
The ball was not carrying that day either, so he really got to hold that one.
Yeah. Oh, dude. But dude, Corey was hitting nukes in the home run derby.
A YouTuber won the home run derby.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Against them. That, you know what? That was a W for us. I'm framing that.
Yeah, we won the whole event.
Guy could hit the crap out of the ball, but his arm just had just nothing.
Yeah.
He was done. But that guy could hit for days.
Oh, dude, maybe next game we don't pitch him at all. Like he had a nice play in the field too. He cut off the shortstop and made a play at first. And Mark had a couple grounders that he fielded correctly. It was good.
If we could find some form,
I'm actually shocked by that.
You what?
Oh yeah,
Forced an out. I'm shocked by that. I nearly fucked it up.
the bobble picked up just in time.
The worst part though was that they had the last inning they played us. They had no gloves on and we still couldn't get a hit.
And they sat down.
Yes. Pretty rough.
It's really fun. As I told you guys, I started writing about the experience and just rattling off all the disadvantages they gave themselves in the last inning, and we still didn't get a hit.
We didn't get a hit in either game. Like that's how bad we were.
What's the closest we came? I think
we had a
our ball probably had the best XBA.
What's that?
Well, what's the closest we came, you think, to a hit?
Probably my foul ball. Like that was close, man. Like
you
I was
hammered
like, that was a base hit. If I would have kept it fair as a base hit. Corey had a deep fly to right that was like close to the
Corey
track.
That was the best hit ball easily out of all of us.
Who hit it? Someone hit a grounder that they could have ran out. Robbie, you did, right?
Yeah, Robbie fell over.
Yeah.
But, almost blew out both my quads running down the line.
Right, but the piano that was strapped to your back prevented you from getting down.
I got no speed. I'm built for strength, not for speed.
Like I hit the liner
that pop out.
I hit the liner that Will picked off. That if it's probably 5 feet to his left, could go up the middle.
And then, gosh, I mean, we really didn't have many opportunities to.
No, we did not.
No,
we got to go the money ball approach. Just work the walks, get on base. That's what we got to do.
I'm still haunted because that fastball that I caught was just right there. I mean, it was where I needed it. Like, and then the next pitch was a curve that I popped up. Like they were really trying to help me. Like I was like, holy shit! Like I'm actually getting pitches to hit.
We didn't strike out in the top of the first and the second game. It was progress.
Who did?
We didn't in the.
We didn't strike out at all. We put every ball in play
for the first inning. Yeah, that was a win.
Yeah, massive W, dude. Giraffe Deck Mark fouled off Trey Cooper, so like he was like, yes, that was so funny.
Massive job.
All right, we made it an hour. Let's go around. Jacob, what did you feel about the experience? Do you have any parting words before we talk about this in a year from now?
I mean, it was awesome. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for getting this whole thing together. Honestly, it was such a cool thing to do, especially considering I feel like I still feel like I just started. I started a little bit over a year ago, and I just got to 1,000 subs. So I feel like I didn't do much to deserve this, but thanks for inviting me. It was really cool.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming, dude. Robbie, what you got?
It's similar for me. Like I recently just hit 20, and but I still feel like I'm really new to the game. And I. Obviously being around all of you guys where you guys have done this for a long time, same like he said, thanks for inviting me. But it was just great to get to meet everyone because kind of the whole world of, this whole YouTube thing was still kind of unknown to me, but just to kind of pick all of your brains, just even outside of the baseball field, like even just, driving in the car and just going out to eat, just kind of picking your brains about everything. It was great for me, honestly. So
yeah, I had a great time. I think the camaraderie was even better. That's probably what I missed the most out of baseball is just the teammates, and that's the one thing I love about baseball. It's not about playing the game. It's the only thing where collectively in life where you will lose together, right? Like you go to a job or something, like people start to scatter when your team's not doing good or your team's not producing. People start pointing fingers and saying this shit. Baseball is the one thing where it's like, oh man, we're all losing together. Let's see how we react. Like, let's pick each other up and not blame each other. Like it's a very meaningful experience. Mike, what you got before we get on out of here?
Yeah, same thing with those guys. Thanks first and foremost for setting it up and thinking of us. Speaking for all the SRS guys that were there, it was a tremendous experience. Like Robbie said, getting to know everybody too, but just how unbelievable it felt like the second you're first on the field. Like that's a feeling that I'm never going to be able to get back. So thank you guys for facilitating, giving us. I don't want to say once in a lifetime because we're going to get greedy and try to do it again next year, but it had that same feel.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Tree, what you got to say before we get on out?
Well, I want to thank everyone for tolerating how bad I was at baseball. I never played in my life. I'm going to be honest, man. That was a hell of an experience, to be completely honest with you. I mean, next year, if we do this, we need to get a rickety old bus and simulate the minor league experience. Just like
and we just drive from the hotel room,
drive around town to town and barnstorm. That's how we do it.
You're gonna give Sim PTSD.
Yeah. Everyone, check out And That's Baseball and Robbie Hyde, of course, SRS, Stark Raving Sports. You guys know that. Appreciate you guys coming. And appreciate y'all for checking out the stream. Appreciate the big 50 bomb from M Dome. And then Tanner, be sure to help or send us a message when you want to do that charity stream. But thanks everyone for coming out. We'll see you next week with more normal dumpster fire content. And we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks, guys.